Hi everyone, how you doing? I had a question the other day about how to manage it when clients don't get results and when we take it personally. Now, this was specifically around behavior change and supporting people to reduce their drinking and be alcohol free. So, if people have a goal of being alcohol free, then sometimes they relapse, slip, blip, whatever you want to call it. This is part of the process. It's part of the territory. It comes with the work that we do. But some practitioners can really, really struggle with this. Okay, so here's the thing. Behavior change takes time. Everybody's different with this. So out there in the online world, you will see different things that say it takes 21 days to change a habit. Maybe, maybe not. Different for different people. And even if, say, it took me 21 days to create a new habit, then maybe it might take me 9 months to create a new habit in another area. Yeah. So just because I created a new habit or changed a habit really quickly in one area of my life, that doesn't mean that it's going to translate to another area of my life. Okay. So there's a lot of rubbish out there about behavior change. But here's the thing. People can change and they do change. And a lot of this is about learning. But it can take time, okay? And everybody's time frame is completely different, all right? So when we're running groups, particularly groups, I find I get better results with one-to-one because obviously you're tailoring the content to that individual, but in a group, you're tailoring the content to the group. So people are getting little snippets that may be appropriate for them. And also in a group, people can hide, whereas one-to-one, it's in your face. It's harder to get away from that. Yeah. I'm not saying the groups don't work. They absolutely do. But my experience is that mostly change is slower in the group, but that's a personal choice for people. Okay. So it's about educating people about behavior change, that it takes time. Lots of people, individuals expect that when they sign up, they will get immediate results. This happens with weight loss as well. I'm sure you see this. People decide to get fit and lose weight, and then they're like next week wondering why they haven't lost a stone and they haven't got abs. Humans, we like to get quick results, but actually sometimes it takes time. All right. So it's managing those expectations as well. Now, some people will sign up and get immediate results. That's fine. But everybody is different. And also the other aspect to that is something that I say to people is when they sign up and 2 weeks in, they haven't got the results that they want. It's like, well, if you could get the results that you wanted, you wouldn't need to be here. Yeah. That's the bottom line. Like, you're in a group to learn about how to reduce or take a break or stop drinking. So if you could do that, then why are you here? Okay. So key components of managing this type of behavior change are encouraging people to focus on progress. So what's worked, what's working, damage limitation, definitely around slips, blips, relapses. Now, the caveat here is obviously if people want to be alcohol free, we want people to get back on track as soon as possible. However, we need to just be aware that have they been drinking daily? Have they built up a physical addiction? Did they drink in a binge pattern? That means if they stop suddenly, they will go into a withdrawal. Hopefully, your clients well enough in your group to know whether this is a risk issue and how you manage that in terms of encouraging people to get back on track. Because get back on track could mean that they need to reduce, or they need to go and get some support, or they can, maybe they just had a bottle of wine the night before, no biggie. So can you have an alcohol free today? What do you need to do to look after yourself? Okay. It's also about educating people that this is part of the process. Slip, blip, relapse is part of the process. You saw that link that I shared with you about the bicycle of change. So in behavior change, lots of people talk about the cycle of change. we like to talk about it in terms of the bicycle of change. Cycle makes it like it just goes round and round and round, whereas bicycle, I like to think of it as going round but moving forward. Yeah, because if you've had alcohol free time or you're reducing, which the majority of people do, then there is progress. So it's how we use that and we build on that. Yeah, and we just get people to see that it's part of the process. It's all about learning. All of it is about learning in terms of behavior change, understanding about habit, understanding about human behavior, understanding that it takes time, one thing at a time, stuff like that. And sometimes it can be to do with their goals. Maybe they don't really know what they're doing. Maybe they're just sober curious, all that type of stuff. Sometimes you can hear it in people's goal that they're not really sure what they're doing, in which case that's going to translate. If somebody really wants to be alcohol free, not always, but mostly, there is a commitment to that. I want and need to be alcohol free. This is my goal and this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to make it my focus, and I'm going to make myself my best project, that type of thing. They'll be quite motivated and they'll take action. But sometimes people won't be sure what their goal is. It'll be a bit wishy-washy, and that means that maybe they're just dipping their toe in, so you're going to see some random stuff, obviously. And then also in group, because a lot of this stuff, so a lot of it is about learning, about understanding behavior change, understanding human behavior, but it is essentially about taking action. And in a group, it's easy to hide and not take action. Whereas in one-to-one, if I'm setting people actions that we've agreed and then we speak and they haven't done it, I'm like, okay, so what got in your way? Whereas if I set actions in a group, I can see that some people are doing it, but if some people aren't, there's not a lot I can do about that. I'm not going to be calling them out in group. Yeah, so it's easy to hide. Now, in terms of where we sit around that, that's the science, the methodology. But it's about you being clear about what your goal is, what your role is in this part, okay? So this is what I believe and what supports me to do the work that I do. I am clear on my role. So my role is to teach, guide, support, coach, mentor anybody who wants to change their behaviour. If they want to do that, that's my role to do that. But I can't do it for them. Yeah. I can't take the actions. I can give them the information, I can encourage, I can share, I can help them figure themselves out, but I can't take the actions for them. Yeah. So it's just getting really, really clear on that. So you are responsible for you. You are not responsible for anybody else. Okay. So it's getting really clear on your personal responsibility. You are responsible for you. You are not responsible for anybody else. Okay. Whether somebody has a drink or not is not about you. It isn't a reflection on you. Okay. And sometimes it's also about getting really clear on what our beliefs and values are around this. So what you can probably hear when I'm describing this is I am super clear on what my role is in my job. And I'm not saying that I'm a robot and I don't have feelings when, if somebody's having a really difficult time, obviously I do, but I'm very clear that I am not responsible for that. My responsibility lies in doing my job to the best of my ability, which I'm 100% sure that I do. So I have some very clear beliefs around personal responsibility and choice. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Yeah? This is 100% true in our world. And the bottom line is around alcohol in terms of behaviour change is some people will get it and they will fly and it will be amazing, and some people won't, no matter what you do, and everything in between, okay? And it just is, yeah? There is no rhyme or reason to it. If we knew the answer to that, we would be selling multi-million-pound programs, okay? So sometimes it can help to get really clear on your roles, get really clear on, your personal responsibility and your beliefs and values around this, okay? There's also something about how we manage slips, blips, relapses in group, okay, particularly if you're running a alcohol-free group, because it's going to happen. It's just going to happen. So it's how you use that as part of the learning and the coaching. Yeah, it's not hiding from it. It's using it as a teaching tool. Yeah. So feel free to use my blog, The Bicycle of Change. You know, make sure that you're educating your group about relapse prevention. Make sure that you've set the frame around learning. Make sure that they understand that this is part of the process. Just by talking about relapse, slips, blips, you're not encouraging people to do it. It's about education. You know, obviously, like we talked about, focus on progress, what's working, damage limitation, part of the process, learning, all that type of stuff. So it is part of what you teach, okay? I teach it in my video coaching program, I teach it in my group program, and I teach it in a number of different ways, okay? So it's part of the behavior change process. I hope this helps. Any questions, please let me know.